Hey, yo, y'all already know what time it is. You see the clock. It's 3:30, baby. And y'all know what it is. It's that no cap you chat brought by yours truly. And I ain't talking about me. Y'all already know. I'm talking about the amazing, phenomenal, outstanding vocal students that we have on this show. This is all about you guys. And today, look, is no different. We brought back some of our great guests from the past because today's topic is centered around something very heavy and that's very near and dear to our hearts. And so, look, you already know it ain't. This show is all about these students being raw, being authentic, giving you that real, no cap, baby. So, look, let's go ahead and get this thing started. Let me introduce you to these super dope students that we got on. First and foremost, I call him Mr. So Fresh, So Clean. My God, Mr. Kedrick, senior, currently this year, graduated, getting ready to head off to Kennesaw State University. What up, Key? How you doing, big dog?
Glee. I never fail. I never fail. I never fail. Never fail.
There
What's
you
happening with
go.
y'all?
I told y'all, man. There he is. Look, hey, and look, I couldn't be a show without the amazing, phenomenal Miss Liana, senior, who's graduating this year, heading to the Albany State University. What's up, Lee? How you doing, girl?
Hey, how y'all doing? Had to rep
Hi.
Atlanta today.
Yes, the Falcons still suck, but that's not about this show. Look, and look, of course, y'all know him. Y'all know him, the man with the plan, the man with the phenomenal beard, Mr. Morehouse himself. Y'all show some love to Mr. Javier. What's up, big dog? Man, that Joker's beard done grew. Y'all see Pastor D still on the struggle bus, but it's all good. Look, it's so great to have all y'all on the show today. Listen, we've been chopping it up this week. The world knows and has been seeing our topic for today, man. And man, we just want to jump straight into it. Of course, this incident that's occurred right here in the state of Georgia, down in Brunswick, uh, what people thought was going to be overpowered by the current COVID-19 epidemic has risen high above it in recent weeks. And it's all centered around a phenomenal young man by the name of Ahmaud Arbery, 25-year-old who was gunned down this past February. And it's taken over 2 months, y'all, 2 months for there to be some legal action and steps taken. So to all of you that aren't very familiar with the topic, there was a young man who was out running, 25-year-old. He was out running, something that he does all the time. And while he was out running, he was spotted by a father and son duo. And from their standpoint, they called 911 to say, hey, they've had a string of robberies in the neighborhood, and this particular African American male fit the description of possible people who have been breaking into houses. And so instead of waiting for the police officers to do what they do, these two gentlemen decided to take matters into their own hands. And from what we've been hearing in the news reports, what we've been gathering from the police reports, uh, they went after the young man while he was jogging. They tried to cut him off. They made a lot of attempts to cut him off, but they weren't successful. He just ran around them. And so they sped ahead, stopped their truck. Uh, the father stayed in the bed of the truck. The son was on the street. And as Mr. Arbery was running, they said that he went around the truck initially, and then there was a shot that rang out. And so he began to wrestle with the son, and more shots rang out. And of course, the video has surfaced, and it's very heavy. But of course, this young man did not make it. And so what has occurred is there was a silence for about 2 months because the father was a former police officer for the Glenn County Police Department who's investigating this particular incident. And so it got real silent. And this video surfaced and it's caused an absolute outrage. And so we wanted to just bring everybody up to date. Of course, the GBI has gotten involved and have made an arrest with the two. And they're looking into the charges that will be pressed and so forth and so on. So, look, we wanted to bring this topic and speak about this topic today, guys, because it's often that, you know, us older generations, we feel this, and we take action, we go protest, and but I've never really got to hear from the younger generation, you guys, and you guys' voice, you guys' words on this matter mean so much to me, and of course everybody around the world. So I know this may be a heavy topic for everybody today, but I think it's one that's needed to be addressed from the student's perspective. Right there, you can see the young man. I heard he was outstanding, phenomenal, just an amazing young guy. And we lost another one, you know. And so, look, man, I got two males on here in particular, Kedrick and Javian, man. Javian, let's start with you, man, because you're closer to age to this young man. You're in college. You know, what were your thoughts that ran through your head when you first heard it, and also when you first saw it?
Well, when I first heard about it, when I first saw the video and saw all the responses on social media, my first reaction wasn't to go and post, but I actually just sat there. You know, as soon as I saw it, I sat there and just thought about everything. And then I was just in disbelief because I couldn't believe, you know, an African American man can't go jogging without being hunted down like an animal. But we see white people every day standing outside with guns, you know, and they call it a protest, but we can't even jog around a neighborhood without being killed. So that just, you know, and then what you said about me being closer in age, that really struck home for me as well, because that very well could have been me, you know. It's no reason that that couldn't have been me. So just thinking about that, and then just thinking about, you know, where African Americans have come from, what we've went through in America, and the fact that, you know, the point is, you know, daily illustrated that America does not have our best interests. And you know, that's a hard truth. That's a hard pill to swallow. But I feel like African Americans, you know, definitely can see from this situation that America doesn't have our best interests, and that this country wasn't even built for us to be successful. You know, the whole system of capitalism was built for white people to be successful and build off of that. So it's, you know, it's just heartbreaking to see that this is continuing to happen, and it's kind of like putting a record on replay. Really, it's like the same thing over and over again, the same story, and then the fact that these people they weren't even arrested until 2 months after. You know, like that's just crazy to me. It shows me every day that even though we're not on the field anymore, even though we're not necessarily slaves, African Americans are not free in this country, and that's what came to my mind.
And man, I think you are very validated in what you're saying. And listen, everybody out there, this is by no means an attack. This ain't got nothing to do with no type of us talking about that race. No, 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 no. This is all about the incident. This is all about something that continues to occur with a certain demographic by another demographic. And so please do not take what these students are saying, their emotion, their feelings, what comes from, do not take it personal. Please don't take it personal. But this is just coming from their standpoint. This is how they feel. This is how they feel. And so, you know, if you hear my students say white people or whatever, this has nothing to do with being racial. Okay. So I need you guys to hear with your heart. I need you guys to hear with your heart now. I need you to be smart with this thing. Okay. And so look, Kedrick, you're another male, man, a young male, one who we know has an amazing future ahead of him. You know, when you first heard the news, when you first saw the video? Like, what came to mind?
Honestly, when I first heard it and saw it, it was scary to me. I was Words really can't describe it, but like I would be like beyond upset because I'm an African American male. I'm going off to college, making my own decisions. Not only me, but literally all the males and females out there. We're all about to make our own decisions, and we have to be careful on, like, we just have to be careful. We don't want to be another statistic. We don't. I see what our parents mean by, be careful. They're teaching us really, because we just can't be out in this world just being another statistic. We just have to keep, we have to prove them wrong. That's all I'm really trying to say. We just have to show that we are really what we mean. And I'm just like, honestly, I have no words. I'm just like furious at this point. I really can't say too much right now. Just that
Understandable,
furious.
man. I understand. I understand. Liana, and one of our leaders in the ministry, a young African American woman. What was your take on seeing another male, another young man, in this situation, similar to Trayvon Martin, similar to Sandra Bland, just stuff just so random and just so out of the blue. Like, for you as a female, what was your take when you first heard the news and saw the video?
When I first heard the news and saw the video, it was sad because when you look, well, actually, when you look at the video, it like stops your heart. Like, you just really can't believe it. Like, you can see it very vividly in the video. So it just makes you think of the people around you with Kedrick, Javian, TJ. Those people are like my brothers to me. So I just think, like, dang, it could have been them. And what's so crazy, I had to write an essay last night for my dual enrollment class, which the only African American female. So it asked, is America a great place to live in? Like, what's so great about America? And I just couldn't write it, like, especially after all this. I just had to take some time and actually think, because this system is really crazy. I just can't believe it.
Yep. Yep. And listen. One thing that I need everybody out there to understand: we are a very strong body of believers. Okay, and so one thing I want to say to everybody that's watching: God did not give us no spirit of fear. Okay, and that's what we stand on. We understand that He's our refuge. We understand that He's our cover. We understand that we go to Him and He's got us no matter what. And so, I've talked to a lot of students about this incident, and you can hear the emotion, you can hear the pain. Kedrick, man, you shaking, bro. And from me to you, I want y'all to understand that it's okay. It's okay for those emotions to be there, that anger, that sadness. Even me being a father, man, I had gotten to a place when I first saw the video, I was cooking, y'all. And I just got a ding on my phone, and I was like, wait, what is this? And the video surfaced, and every time a gunshot went off, I'm 32, guys. I felt it in my stomach, and I'm an emotional person. And the first thing that I think about is my sons. I think about you guys, who all of my males are in the ministry. I think about anybody that we have, that I had the honor and the privilege of being a mentor to, being just whatever. And for me, it was emotional. Like you said, Liana, it's like we can't go jogging. We can't relax in the comfort of our homes. We can't assist nobody in a car crash. We can't have our cell phones. We can't leave a party safely. We can't play our music too loud. We can't sell CDs. We can't sleep in peace. We can't walk to the store. We can't play cops and robbers. We can't go to church. We We can't walk home with Skittles. And it's so emotional. It's so much that comes from it. And so you are validated in the emotions that you all feel right now. And so just know that, you're good. And I'm very proud of you guys just being bold enough to get on and talk, especially in the midst of this. Y'all feel me? And so, I just wanted to say that because I can, as I'm listening to you, I can see it, and I can feel it. And so, you know, my I guess my question now to you guys, Liana, when you think about the future, like you're going to be a mother one day, you're going to be an auntie one day, you're going to be uh, in a position where you got a brother, you got an older brother. Like, where is your head as a student? Like, where is your head now when you think futuristically? Like for your future kids, like what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that I just want to educate other people about what's going on. One of the things about our age demographic is that we're not really scared to talk or speak. Like now, we are very bold. Like when we say something, want to do something, we mean it and are about action. So I would just want to teach people, not only the African American community, but people of other cultures and other races about what is going on and how we can change to create an environment that our children, grandchildren, everybody can just wake up and just feel safe. Like I know it's going to be a long road, but my goal is just to educate people on what's going on right now.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And Javian, I heard you earlier, man, where the feeling is mutual with a lot of folks. It feels like we don't, as African Americans, the more we take 2 steps forward, we get knocked back 5 steps from an emotional standpoint. And I heard you make mention that it feels like we don't have a place in this nation. And I felt that, man. I felt that. And so, you being a young man, you being a future father, what do you feel when you think about your future kids, man? If you have a future son, a future daughter, what do you feel?
Well, man, I would definitely have to educate my children and let them know that, you know, there are people out in the world that don't have your best interests at heart. And I would have to let them know to sadly be mindful of your surroundings. Be mindful of the people that you're hanging around. Be mindful of what you say. Be mindful of what you do. And just acquaint yourself with people that have your best interests in mind. And if I obviously had a son, I would have to let him know. Have to sit him down and let him know that because you're a black man in America, there's certain things that you might see white people do that you won't be able to do. And that's just how it is. You can't have that same mindset of
No.
this is America, so I can do what I want to do and then have no repercussions. Like, yes, this America is called the land of the free and the home of the brave, but sadly, African Americans don't share that same freedom. We don't share that same freedom. Yes, we're free to the fact that we can live under capitalism, as I mentioned earlier, but as far as having the same privileges of the white majority, you know, which is to, for instance, to jog in your neighborhood, to go to the store without being interrogated, you know,
Yeah.
driving in the car, and we don't have the privilege of driving in a car and then being pulled over by the cops without being worried.
Yep.
Whenever it's sad because whenever I'm driving
No.
and I see a police officer, like,
You
I
tense up.
immediately feel uncomfortable.
Yep.
Yes, I
Yeah,
immediately
yeah.
feel uncomfortable. Like
And I feel you. You tense
I
up
just have
like, and I still look. I still tense up to this day, man. And it's not that I'm afraid, right? But it's just so many possibilities, right?
Yeah.
Like you've been raised under this big cloud. I know if y'all parents probably spoke to y'all like my Duke spoke to me, right? Where you get pulled over, keep your hand on the steering wheel, don't make no sudden movements. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad for us, right? And this just real talk. It's sad for us to have all of these precautions set up and it not be something felt like across the board. It's not even across the board, right? And it sucks. It sucks. But I think the beauty that's risen from this is that there have been a lot of people in the world that have stood up. African American, Caucasian, even all the way up to leadership. That has heavily gotten involved. How like I saw Mayor Keisha Lance Bottom, her post, and I've seen she's jumped ahead. I've seen a lot of celebrities jump in on this, which is something that's typical, right? And it's amazing to have the influence of those people speaking on this, right? So let me ask you guys this: like, how have you felt about, like, I even saw the Governor Kemp, he jumped in on this as well. So how do you feel now that this is surfaced? How do you feel leadership is handling this situation? Anybody?
well, I feel like honestly I don't know. It's just I'm going back to my thought. Like I feel like the best
Yeah,
interests of African Americans are definitely not in the thought of leadership. And it definitely wasn't even in the thought of our founding fathers when they made the Declaration of Independence. So I'm
I
like,
got you.
I just I'm saying like I feel like African Americans, we have to know that we have to have our own backs. Like we have to have
I got
us as a community. We have to look after each other because the government that we're under is not looking after us, and that's being
you. I
showed
understand.
every day. Even from this past incident, that's being shown. It took 2 months. That man was killed 2 months ago,
Yep.
and they
So let me
just
ask you this.
got arrested. Like, are you serious?
Yep. What do you think should have been done? Like from you all standpoint, and like, what do you think should have been done in this situation? KJ, like, what do you think should have been done? 2 months ago, incident happened.
On the spot should have been like done. It like you should have. Okay, it should have been
Yeah,
taken
you
care
good,
of
man.
on the spot. I don't care. You should not wait 2 months just to arrest those two for killing an African American. It should have been done on the spot. Like
Okay.
nowadays, us teens, well, let me phrase that. Some teenagers, most teenagers, however you want to say, we are not woken up. We're not seeing what life is really is right now. And back when your question
Mm,
said about my future kids, you have to teach. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna teach mines early, like real early, cause I'm gonna make sure they know what's going on. I'm gonna make sure that you can't do this, you can't do that in life. Like you have to start real early. And some teams right now, they pride gets to them like real hard. Like, oh, I'm not afraid of this. Oh, they can do what they want. I'm big boy. I'm gonna
yeah,
make it out on my own. No, that's not how it works. You have to get someone, talk to somebody that been there, done that, and like it should have been taken care of on the spot. Ain't no more waiting. We have to do something because, like Jamie said, African Americans nowadays have to have our own backs and like you all are like family. Everyone who I know, who I'm close to, is like family to me. I don't know what I would do if I lost y'all. I would probably lose my mind. So all I have to say is just it just should have been taken care of on the spot. We just have to
on
have
the
our own
spot.
backs, and we have to start real early and just wake up like now, like
I
real
feel you.
like right now.
I feel you, Leona. I saw you agreeing right when he was talking about students being numb, like students thinking that they are invincible, that things like this won't touch them. You know what I mean? So, what are your thoughts around that when he was saying that? I saw because I was agreeing with him It's a lot of students out there that just, they see it in the news and it hasn't hit home for them yet, or they're unaffected by it. They just push it to the side. What are your thoughts around that?
I feel like it hit home to many people now, especially because it happened like in Georgia, and that was like so close. Because I know some people, they were talking about it, making little comments about it online, and it's like, you got to think about it. Even the people in Georgia, like we live in Georgia and we didn't hear about this till now. So I think it has something to do with the police department too, because he worked for the police department and I feel like they covered it up. So we should, like, either the case should be taken somewhere else or you have to really investigate those police officers because he worked for that particular police department. So I think that's probably where it all starts. And I'm probably because I know I'm so close to my mom, I feel like they should do more to get her closure because she's probably
Yeah,
never gonna feel the same after losing her child.
absolutely, absolutely. And listen, I'm loving you guys being honest, but let me say this, and everybody that's watching, let me affirm you this. One, if you are African American student, male or female, if you are Latino students, if you're Caucasian students, it don't matter. If you're a human being, let me say it like this. Let me say it like this. You are not a second class citizen. You feel me? Like you aren't taking a back seat. I know it feels like it at times, but I need you to keep your mind in the game. I need you to keep your mind focused, because the reality, you were created with a purpose. You were created with the very just strategic details from God Himself. And so I don't want you to think that I know the traumatization will come for us every time something like this happens. We'll keep feeling that, and sometimes it'll push us into our little bubbles and push us and I understand that, but I need you to stand up. I need you to get out that phone. You feel me? I need you to get out that phone because you, as a student, I ain't even talking to adults. All of y'all, like, I look at you guys as change agents. You see it. Generational changers, change agents. Like, you guys got next. You guys are getting ready to prepare to take the reins and be in positions to where you guys can vote. You guys can be in seats of politics. You guys can be judges. You guys can take these seats and you guys can literally change the world, hold the world accountable. We had some of the greats in the past, Dr. King, say, if we're going to be created equal, we're going to be created. We're going to hold you accountable to that promise. We're going to hold you accountable to that creed, And so, JVN, my words to you, man. I love your passion, boy. You had that whole, like, I'm listening, boy. You had that whole Malcolm X thing riled up in me. But I understand, as the Black community, these are students talking to you. These are their hearts. We've got to come together more. We've got, and we hear it so much. I know y'all hear it. We got to come together more. We've got to be willing to drop pride. We've got to be willing to stand tall together, to be educated more. And I love that y'all are talking about education. We've got to be in tune as one. Not listen, and we ain't talking about going out there and tearing the worlds up and saying to no, this is not what these students are talking about. But they're thinking for the now and the future. And I know that if this is their heart, this is your heart right there at the house. And so look, I want to get. Oh, go ahead, Keith. Go ahead.
And then in the video, I don't know if like you would heard it like clearly, but I heard my man scream, like literally had that grunt in him, and when he was
Yeah,
walking away, he fell. I
yeah,
just need one from everybody. Please be realistic. Wake up, cause right now this can be. I'm God forbid this can be like either one of y'all or anyone's family, but this can be one of y'all's family members or something. Please wake up,
yeah,
cause right now this we have to live. I know many people are out there wants to make this world a better place.
yeah,
Please try your hardest. Take this serious. Make this a better place for everybody. I don't want you can't just imagine. I don't want no one's kids or anyone's family members, not even my mom's, if when I have one. I don't want
Yeah.
him or her to wake up saying, "Dad, what kind of world we live in? What is going to happen now?" I don't. None of us want us to live in that type of world. So I just want everybody just to wake up, be realistic, and try like your hardest to make this world a better place. Because right now we are falling, and we have to make sure we come together, like as a community, as a group, just to make this right. And that's really all
I
I'm
love
asking.
Man, I love it, man. I love it. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that. Javian, you got anything for students out there, or people out there in general? Uh, like, what's your words of encouragement to them? What's your words of love to them? You know?
Yeah. Well, I would say I know everybody feels angry. There's a lot of anger involved in this whole situation, a lot of anger involved in the repetition of African Americans being killed. But just as Kedrick said, we do have to be realistic. And we have to acknowledge, first of all, we have to acknowledge the environment that we're in. You got to acknowledge the country that we're in, the state that the black community is in. And we have to acknowledge the fact that we don't necessarily, we aren't necessarily the first thing that comes to mind when America talks about its citizens. So that being said, we have to be mindful of our surroundings. Once again, we have to educate our own family. We got to educate our children, educate our young black men and let them know that this is the procedure. This is what you do when you go outside. And this is how you act. This is how you react. Because when we let anger get the best of us, we've seen it. We've seen it a lot of times when young African Americans got angry because of how the police officers were treating them, which is justifiable. But with that anger, you have to be wise with that anger because they will hold that anger against you. You know, they will hold that anger against you and then try to place the blame on you for having a natural human reaction. So we have
Yeah.
to, first of all, we got to tell ourselves who we are because God already told us who we are. God tells us who we are through his word. So we have to remember who we are. Don't let anybody else define you and hold yourself hold yourself up. We got to have each other's back and hold your brothers back up as well because we got to have each other. Because if we don't got each other, we don't have anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Liana, speaking for all my young African American queens out there, talk to me, girl. What are your words to your age, to the community, to this nation?
Well, first I just want to say, because now that I'm thinking about it, it's Teachers Appreciation Week. So shout out to everybody in DeKalb County who has ever taught me for going
Hey,
above the curriculum, for teaching me the stuff that we're talking about right now. Because
yes,
every
ma'am.
teacher that I've ever had from preschool all the way up to high school now, they have taught me that if you're not doing anything, you're not speaking about it, then you are a part of the problem. So for them going above and beyond to teach me how to be the young African American woman I am today, I just want to say thank you. And that we're gonna get through this. It just takes time. Like it just really takes time. But all we have to do is keep faith and believe because God has the final say so. So he's gonna get us through this.
Absolutely. 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 Listen, y'all, I can't let this topic go without giving you guys words of encouragement. One, I'm so proud of each one of y'all for being bold, being honest, being upfront, and being raw. I know this topic was heavy. We got a little emotional. Pastor D's voice started to quiver a little bit, but I had to bring it back in. And I say that because of how just sitting back and listening to y'all, like I know that if you're speaking like this, there are so many students out there just like you, and I know the world is going to be in excellent hands with leadership like you, with mentalities like you, with hearts and passions with God like you that you have. And so, like, I know that these times are never easy out there, y'all. So I know I got parents watching, I got younger students watching, I've got some of the older gen. Look, I know these times are never easy. Worry, fear, despair, us thinking about the past starts to creep in, us holding our children closer and thinking about, do I give them that one last listen? I know it's not easy, but I want to leave you with three things. Isaiah 41, chapter 41, verse 10 says it like this. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous hand. And John chapter 14, verse 27 says it like this. Peace I leave with you, and my peace I give you. I do not give you as the world gives. So do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid. And Joshua chapter 1, verse 9 says it like this. Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. I say those words to encourage you, not for you to carry around the fear, not for you to carry around the emotions and let that hold you back. Let that push you down. I say that because we know we serve an absolutely amazing God. And we know that sometimes situations like this happen. We know that. But we know that God has a greater plan. We know that God has the ultimate say so, like you said, Liana. And we know that the God that we serve has it all in his hands. And so, listen, this is what I want to challenge everybody out there in the world right now to do. This is what, and I've been seeing it all over social media. I've been seeing it everywhere. I posted it on our social media pages. But today, I challenge you today, tomorrow, this weekend, get up, get out, run, walk, jog 2.23 miles in honor of this amazing young man. I challenge you to do that. Get up. And as you're out there, I just want you to just honor him in that moment, because all he was doing what he did every single day. So I challenge you to get up with your families, go as a unit, get your friends, keep your social distancing now. But I challenge y'all to get out there. 2.23 miles. You can jog it, you can walk it, you can run it, you can ride a bike. Just get out there and honor this amazing young man. Listen, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Justice for Ahmaud Arbery. Man, thank y'all so much for joining the show. All right. I love y'all as always. And thank y'all for being authentic. Listen, this is another edition of No Cap Youth Chat with these super dope, amazing students and their raw and authenticity. Hey, we love y'all. Can't wait to see y'all again. Peace.